Finding your ideal home isn't an easy task. You can look through hundreds and hundreds of properties and still not find anything that's quite right. But if you're prepared to go the extra mile and take a leap of faith, rescuing one of Britain's empty homes could help you realise your dream. Hi guys, nice to meet you. Hi, I'm Joe.
Sounds like quite a challenge, so I'm meeting them to find out more.
So what attracted you to the bungalow behind us?
There's just loads and loads of potential. We can get our own stamp on it and just do what we want to do.
Earlier, I met Janet and Trevor Smith, who just bought this 1930s bungalow in Hertfordshire. They're planning an ambitious double extension up and out at the back. I'm taking them to meet a couple who've completed work on a similar renovation project. Richard and Alice Cann bought this 1930s three-bedroom semi.
Looking for various other houses that weren't working out, so when you found this property in Harrow, we came in to see it and fell in love with it. It was really, really the kind of thing we were looking for, apart from the fact that it needed all this work we were doing on it.
Just like Janet and Trevor planned to, the Canns have built a large, and they opted not to live in a building site with their young baby Arthur throughout the cold winter months.
It soon became clear that really we wouldn't be able to live here all the time. We were really lucky to have my parents to go and stay with.
They now have a large and comfortable family home with a spectacular kitchen diner extension.
Right guys, well here it is. It is a property of a similar period to yours. And the reason I want you to see this place is that as a project, it's where you might be in half a year's time. I've got a feeling it's going to answer a lot of your questions. Should we go and have a look?
Absolutely.
Come on.
This project is on a bigger scale to Janet and Trevor's, but it does have some interesting parallels, and I think the feature they'll be very keen to see is the large extension.
In terms of what you were telling me earlier, your inspiration of having glass at the back of a property and a sight line through to the garden.
Yes.
Isn't that great?
It is. It is
great.
beautiful.
Very open.
Yeah.
Exactly, actually, as I'm only flicked around. But exactly with the sink, the window.
Yeah.
It is. It's
Plenty of
absolutely
light.
beautiful.
In fact, step over here because I know Richard is fairly keen on his doors here.
I am, because we don't like conservatories. I don't understand the purpose of them. So this seemed like the next best thing, really, to have the garden pretty much in your living room.
Oh, wow. Trifold doors, yeah.
That is clever. It's so weird suddenly seeing just one big rectangle
That's what
of
we were
light
talking about.
and green and...
Yeah, that's the photograph, isn't it, that you want?
And one thing I haven't asked you throughout any of this is how was this property when you got here? I presume if this is an extension, the building stopped here.
Yeah, by that divide you can see where the old kitchen was. The kitchen was there.
Yeah.
And that was a rear reception room.
So both quite small rooms actually compared to what the feel of what you have now.
Sure.
And that's fair with what you've got, isn't it? You know, your bungalow's divided up into quite...
That's right, into the small rooms.
Small compartments, yeah.
Yes.
With this open-plan kitchen diner, Richard and Alice really have maximised the space. But there's one big decision they made during this build which I really want Janet and Trevor to take on board.
It was one of the coldest winters in my memory. And there wasn't a back to the house at one point. This was completely open. You could feel the wind coming through the house.
This was one extension. It was an extension on the back of the house. You were talking about one on the back of the house and on top.
Yes.
So,
Currently, Janet and Trevor are planning to live on site over winter during their building works.
And I mean, the other thing I might say to you is I think if you were living on site, you also maybe have to think about it from the builder's perspective.
Yes, I must admit that has passed through my mind. It does become more difficult for them to sort of be sidestepping around you, what you're doing.
Back in Harrow, Janet and Trevor Smith visited this stunning home to get inspiration for the planned extensions to their new bungalow.
how are you feeling about your project in light of what you've just seen?
Enthusiastic, still. Got to be...
Yeah, well, guys, I wish you the best of luck. I'm sure you'll make a great job of it.
Thank you.
I'm so pleased we could show Janet and Trevor this property today. It has come at just the right time in their renovation, and I've no doubts they'll take away loads of insights, inspiration, and plenty of tips. I'm sure they can go on to create a home together, their first home together, that they can be really proud of.